my monitor setup versus your streaming setup.
Yeah, probably.
I will send you a photo.
How is everyone this evening?
Everyone's what?
Well, how is everyone this evening? Or is...
You kind of halfway.
Yeah, I probably did. I probably wanted to start that sentence one way and it ended up finishing another. It's such a dismal Halloween this year. Not being able to go trick-or-treating. I was so looking forward to taking my daughter trick-or-treating this year. And it's just blown up in our face. And then Sean Connery dies. Screw 2020. I hate the year 2020. They say 2020 vision's the best thing ever, but, you know, maybe we could just not. Could we just skip to 2021? That's got to be better, right? I say that now, 2021's going to suck. Or at least for me. Well, I'll get started on part 1 of tonight's make. And the mystery make will sort of start a bit later. The first part's not a mystery. We're going to be making a pumpkin, which I feel is kind of very appropriate for Halloween. The mystery make is also a Halloween appropriate item. But obviously I'm not going to divulge what that is just yet. But the pumpkin's nice and easy. Should get us started off. Get some conversations going, hopefully. Unless I'm being overly optimistic about that. How are you, Trixie6? Yeah, it's been a long time since we've really had a good chat, or well, very long time since we've seen each other. I think the last time we saw each other I was pregnant. It's always too long. It was easier when we lived a bit closer, because there was all those just impromptu meetings, but so if there's anyone that's going to be crocheting along, if you're watching this on YouTube later, then I'll still go through the instructions for this. If there's anyone in chat that's trying to crochet along, if I've gone too quickly for something, you need me to go over something in a bit more detail, just send a quick message, let me know, and I'll backtrack a little bit if I need to. So sort of skipped ahead a little bit. You do need to learn how to drive Tricky6, because well, I mean, we can always come to you, but we have to bring a baby in tow, whereas if you come to us when the baby's asleep, you know, we can just drink on our porch. Yeah. Alright. Again, I've not really been clear on what I'm doing. So, taking orange yarn, we're just making a quick pumpkin. Taking out orange yarn, so our main colour, do a slip knot. So if you need to, if you don't know how to do a slip knot, you've got your tail end of your yarn and your working yarn, which is attached to the rest of the ball. Take your tail end, lay it across your palm, grab your working side and loop it behind your fingers, cross over, twist round, and then with your hook go under that first loop, grab the one behind, pull it underneath, and then simply clasp the yarn on your hook, take your fingers out of the loop and pull up, and that makes your slip knot. So that's the first start. Keep a long tail for this, it makes it a bit easier to sort of sew it up in the end, and just tighten that knot by pulling the working yarn thread, tighten the knot up to under the hook. Yep. Keep the tail to the side. Wrap your working yarn around your fingers, whichever way feels comfortable. If you are sort of starting out with crochet, you will find different ways that work for you to hold your yarn. Some people, if you're left-handed in particular, some people do hold their yarn in their right hand. As you crochet a bit more, you sort of get a bit used to it, get a bit more comfortable in what you're doing. So we're going to chain 17 with the orange. So you've got the slip knot. Simply going to grab the working yarn. Now keep your tail sort of out of the way, but hold on to it, it makes it easier to pull your chains through. So grab your working yarn with your hook by moving your hook away from you, under the working yarn, twist it so the hook of your crochet hook grabs the working yarn, and pull through the loop that's already on your hook, and that's one chain. So you're going to do that 17 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now I realise I forgot to say I'm using for this DMC Natura Just Cotton in their medium, so it's a Aran weight yarn, so it's a bit heavier and a bit thicker than double knit DK yarn. So now you've done your 17, it's always good to just count it. Don't count the loop that's on your hook, only count the full chains under your hook. So it's always good to just count down and just make sure you do have the right amount. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Perfect. So when you're working this sort of a pattern, we're going to be doing 16 single crochets back to the beginning of the start of the chain. So you miss that first chain under the hook. Again, don't count the loop that's on your hook, but this chain that's directly underneath, we skip that. That's our turning chain, which will make more sense once we get to the next row and further rows on this. So what we're going to be doing now is row 1. You don't count the starting chain as your first row. It is just your foundation of your piece. So we're going to skip that first chain, and we're going to insert our hook into the second chain, grab the yarn, pull through, grab the yarn again, and pull through the 2 loops on your hook. And that's one single crochet. You're just going to do that in every chain loop to the beginning of the chain, back to the starting knot. So insert your hook, grab your yarn, pull through, grab your yarn, pull through both loops on your hook. Right, if you're watching this on YouTube and I'm going too fast, just pause the video and work your way to the end of the chain. I'm not going as fast as I normally would, just because I am sort of watching how it's filming as well. I am using a 3.5mm hook. That will mean that the work will curl, because they're quite tight stitches. But when you're working these sort of crochet patterns, where you're making like items, what we call amigurumi in crochet, it's best to work tighter stitches, because when you stuff it with your toy stuffing, the polyester, it means that the polyester filling is very unlikely to show through the stitches. Makes it just look a bit nicer. So that's the 16, so that's the first row. And we're going to work the second row now. So this is where I was saying like why you don't do the chain directly under the hook, and that's your turning chain. So what we're going to do now, because we're going to have to work back through the 16 that we've just done, we're going to grab our yarn and pull through that loop. So that's one chain, and that's our turning chain. So now we can turn the work around and we can work through the chains that we've the crochet stitches that we did in the first row. But the second row is going to be a bit different. Normally when you're working through your chains, you would put your hook through underneath the whole stitch. So I'm not sure how well this shows up. You can see that there's two loops there. That's the stitch plus the loop that's already on your hook. But we don't want to do that for the pumpkin. What we want to do is we want to work through the back loop of the stitch. So we're going to take our hook, and we're not going to go right under the hook, right under the stitch. We're going to go through the middle of the stitch, so sort of a top down, and just pick up that single loop on the back. So you're only going through half of the stitch. And you're going to grab your yarn, pull through, grab your yarn and pull through both loops. And that's your single crochet in your back loop only. And you're going to work through the back loop for pretty much every row now. So it's only that first row that we work through the foundation stitch. We're not working through the back loops. So we're just going to work through the back loop to go through the center of the stitch beneath, and just grab the single loop of the stitch. Again, back loop only, and just work your way along to the end. Make sure you do 16. So if you feel like you can't keep track of your stitches, just work till the end of the row and count your stitches at the end of each row. And then if you are down a count or up a count, just pull back that row. You can even have a look through the row, see if you can find where you've either dropped a stitch or picked up an extra stitch. But if you don't feel confident that you've done the right amount of stitches in a row, you can always go back and just count the stitches. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Right, so we're at the last stitch of the row. Now this one, because it is the beginning chain, the beginning foundation turn, it can be a bit tricky to spot where your last stitch is. Sometimes you just need to twist a little bit and just manipulate the yarn, and you'll see that the V, the very distinctive V, which is your stitch, go down through the middle of that, pick up that back loop, just one loop of the stitch, pull your yarn through and finish off that last single crochet. Now again, don't count the loop that's on your hook, just count those distinctive V's underneath it. Those are your stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Perfect. So chain 1, you turn in chain for your next row, turn your work, and again we're working in the back loop only. I should have worn a witch's hat.
You should have. Do we have a witch's hat?
We don't have a witch's hat. We do have a cauldron, which I used earlier in a promo video for tonight, but no, we don't have a witch's hat.
Just let the team know.
I've got my pumpkin ears on. It's not very clear in the video, but I got my pumpkin ears.
Well, if we're going to camera up like I told you, we should then.
Well, I thought about getting Halloween makeup on, but that was just too much effort. Soz. I think he was trying to throw off my count.
You're moving too fast for the camera to focus.
Apparently I'm moving too fast for the camera. Yeah, trying to shut the... I thought so. So this is why we're doing the back loop only. It may not be that easy to see at the moment with only 3 rows, but the back loop, we'll get there, right?
Is that blurry or is that good?
I think that's fine. I realise if anyone's watching this on YouTube later, they're just going to be seeing us mess around with cameras for ages.
The magic of live TV.
True. You can see, like, the back loop, it makes that sort of a ridge, which will really show up nicely as a pumpkin, as the I can't even think of the word. The ridges of the pumpkin that give it that sort of, I don't know.
The lumpkins.
The lumpkins. I'll go with that one. We'll go with that word, lumpkins. So going into the next row again, chain 1, turn your work, and again work in your back loop only. So I'm just going to sort of crack on with this. We're looking to do anywhere between 20 and 30 rows. So it depends on how big you want your pumpkin to be. So just sort of work until you can keep trying, like once you've got quite a few more rows, sort of wrap your your work around, see sort of how big your pumpkin's going to be. If you want it to be bigger, add more rows. Similarly, if you want like a much larger pumpkin, you can always chain more to make a longer initial piece of work. So you could make it sort of taller, whereas the amount of rows will determine how wide the pumpkin's going to be, but the amount of chains will determine how tall the pumpkin will be. So it's a nice, good little versatile pattern. It's quite simple. It's I think a really good sort of starting into amigurumi. We do have a lot of fireworks going off around here at the moment. I'm sort of praying that they are.
The mic's not picking them up.
I'm praying they don't wake our daughter up. Not so much that the mic doesn't pick them up. Similarly, I'm hoping I don't wake our daughter up.
Don't you close the door?
Might not be a bad shout.
You need to tell Tricky what happened to you with the doorbell.
So, Corvus got me good this morning. He's been playing around with our doorbells and managed to get them set up so they're automated into our home network. So the doorbell at our door now, it triggers an electronic bell through our Google Homes, so we can hear it ring from anywhere in the house, really. Well, he figured out that he can
Designed it.
he designed it so that he can make the doorbell ring different sounds, so not just the standard doorbell sound. And so he set it to be sort of a Halloween themed
Play it now.
for today. He's going to play it so we can hear what it sounded like. But essentially this went off at 8 o'clock this morning and scared the crap out of me. I was not prepared for it. And our daughter laughed her head off. She thought it was hilarious.
Ready?
Ready. Play it.
That didn't pick it up.
Oh. Microphone should have, though. Maybe.
Did that pick up Tricky?
Yep.
She didn't think it was funny.
No, I didn't. Neither did our dog. Our daughter, however, did. And
Yeah, she did.
and Brian thought it was hilarious. The Uber Eats guy didn't know at all what was going on. So, how's the missus, Tricky? We watched the Welsh Scotland game earlier. I say watched. It doesn't quite have the same atmosphere. The Six Nations this year, not having the crowd, noise background kind of throws off the whole thing, I feel. But our daughter was enamored with it for a little bit. Her attention span's not great, so she wasn't quite gonna yeah our daughter's attention span isn't great. After all, she's only 20 months, so she lost interest after 10 minutes, but I felt like that was 10 minutes. I felt that was a pretty good 10 minutes, to be honest. She sat there just eating her snack and watching the game. It was a nice way to spend Halloween. I am kind of glad for the lack of trick-or-treaters this year, only because as much as I love Halloween and I love seeing all the costumes, not having to open my door every 5 minutes is a real bonus to me, I have to be honest. Whereas I keep pulling the work to myself and out of the centre of the screen. I was just taking a picture of the streaming setup. I have to be fair, I married the right guy to be able to stream this stuff. He had all the equipment, he's got all the knowledge, and if anything goes wrong, he's there to fix it pretty much immediately. I can't fault that. Ooh. You alright, Nova? Our dog is hiding under my chair, hiding from the fireworks, poor thing. She'd been doing okay with the fireworks, to be fair, for a little while. And then she was outside last night for a bit, and there was quite a loud firework, which I think spooked her. So since then, she's been a bit... I wouldn't say she's like overly upset or nervous about them. She's currently sleeping, so she's definitely coping with it relatively okay. but every now and then if there's a really loud one, or like a lot of them going off at the same time, she does sort of like lift her head and have a quick sort of look around, and looks for one of us just to make sure that she's okay. We give her a little ear scratch and belly rub. How the cat's doing with them? I do remember when we still had our cat. There were a couple of Halloween and bonfire nights and New Year's where I was locked in the bathroom with her. I generally came out worse for wear on those nights. A bit bloody. Yeah, our cat was crazy. That is a fair point. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I think with cats, they maybe do get a little bit more skitty with fireworks. Only because I feel like cats have better hearing than dogs. Whether or not that is true or not, I don't know. But I think both cats and dogs do pick up sort of on how their owners are feeling about, or how like the people or other animals are feeling about things around them. So if you are calm, they will be as well. There are a couple of things happened with Nova last night, so I wasn't like the most calm around her for a little bit in the evening. So so I think when she got a bit spooked by the fireworks, I was overcompensating a little bit in trying to comfort her, which wouldn't have helped, but it was my way of apologising for leaving her outside when fireworks were going off. And that was only because, with what I was cooking for dinner, I literally did not have the capacity to open the door while she was out there. It was just bad timing, but I felt bad about it. So I have a quick row count. So the best way to count rows, especially with the working in the back loop, I know I keep looking up. It's only because the face cam is like right, the way it is, it sort of is like right in front of the that first line. If I tilt it, yeah, there, I can see it now. It's fine. I should have just done that first off. It's fine. I've got it. So doing in the back loop only, it makes it a lot easier to count how many rows you've got. So you've got row at the top, then so that's one row, and then where you've got that first ridge, that's another, and then underneath before the next ridge is also one. So between these like thick lines, there's 2 rows. So if there's a count, you got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Again, we don't count that foundation chain. So it is easier if you find these dark, if you pick one side of the work, you can do it from the other side as well, but obviously you've only got one row above that ridge and you've got one row under that ridge, so the ridges just change. So it is kind of a bit easier if you can find, if you work from the side where the ridges are, starting from the top, you've got 2 and you got like 2 at the bottom. But like if you're counting from this side, you've got that 1 at the top, and then you've got 2, so 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. Yeah, so I'm trying to find a better way to explain it. It is, with practice, you find it easier to learn how to count your rows. But just trying to explain it as best I can. Like above every ridge that you can feel is 1 row, down to the divot is then another row. So between each divot is 2 rows. I think I'm going to leave that explanation there so I don't make it any more confusing than it needs to be. So I'm going to do probably another 8 rows, and then I'm just going to see how it is, and we'll see if we need to add any more. I'm happy to have like a bit of a taller, thinner pumpkin than some other pumpkins I might do for different occasions. So again, just make sure that every row you're working in the back loop, and just build up until you're happy with what the width of your pumpkin is going to be. Oh, hi Novi! How are you? Yep, Novi, big fan. How's your Halloween tonight? Oh, yeah, Corvus has had a migraine for a little bit as well. The weather, the quick changes in the weather between like rain and sunshine doesn't help. I'm surprised I haven't gotten one yet. But yeah, otherwise we're good. Whoops. So, Novi, we've been talking about how our pets have been doing with the fireworks. How's Rosie doing? See, I've just been thankful for no trick-or-treaters because I don't have to open my door every 5 minutes. That, and I forgot to buy candy this year, so I didn't have anything to give them anyway. Yeah, I was just saying our dog Nova is she's sleeping at the moment and is pretty chill, but we think she got a bit spooked by one last night. She was a bit sort of out of sorts last night over them. But she seems pretty okay tonight. She's just chilling under my chair. I don't know, Renovi. We've had people doing fireworks for like the last 2 weeks, I think. I can't imagine what bonfire night's going to be like this year. I don't know. It's not something I've heard of, England or Wales really doing fireworks on the 31st for any particular reason, or anywhere. But I think it's a lot of people doing the fireworks because it's something to do, without being able to, you know, when you can't celebrate with a lot of other people at the moment. Yeah, you know, in Wales, like, people aren't supposed to be selling non-essential goods. Would we consider fireworks as essential now? Because I noticed people can still buy them in Tesco's the other day. Bonfire night is going to be odd. I generally love bonfire night. And I love V for Vendetta. And so I usually look forward to bonfire night, but I honestly don't know what to make of it this year. It's a good movie, Novi. Has Sheep managed to get through any more Studio Ghibli movies? You gotten him to watch Princess Mononoke yet? Yeah, just on what Corvus is saying, there is a flat block of council housing down the end of our street. Oh, it's a bit hard to get into. And they have like a common yard out the back of them, and they always set up a bonfire in the middle of it. And last year's bonfire was, these apartment blocks are about 4 floors high, and the fire that they had going last year was as tall as the buildings, and was even like higher than the buildings. I ended up taking a video of it as I drove past. It's an awesome sight, but it just to me feels like it's a little bit close to residences to be that big. We saw them setting up earlier, so we know that they're getting ready to do a fire this year as well. So Novi, you planning on doing any more, was it train flipper? Or like coach flipper, was it, or something? That is house flipper. But what was that game you were playing before house flipper, where it was like you were doing up a train station? I think it was. Unless I've like complete. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more rows of this. Or at least it was a train one and I wasn't like completely misremembering what the game was. Yeah. That was a yes, this one's going to be a pumpkin. So this isn't the mystery knit. This is sort of a part of the mystery knit. The mystery make. So I was just doing this as like a starting sort of warm up thing. Yeah, I said to Corvus, I thought we were going to have another moment where we would have to someone in Sheep's Discord would have to contact him to come and do a check on you, because I thought you were about to cry at one point, like in a good way, not in a bad way. And thank you. All right. So this is going to be just a nice small pumpkin, which is all we want at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to pull the loop up, cut my yarn. I'm going to need to leave a bit of a tail, because it's going to make it a bit easier to sew it up. And then the loop still attached to the work, just pull the yarn through and pull that loop shut. That ties it off nicely. So with that tail end, I'm just going to get a needle. Oh, who have we got? 6live9. Thank you very much for the follow. Well, no, I have to be honest, I actually don't particularly like learning from videos. I used videos to learn how to do the basics, where I like watched a single moment in the video over and over, and like paused it every 2 seconds to see what they were doing. But I actually learnt most of my crochet from written patterns, or just trying things out and seeing how I went. But personally, I'm not a massive fan of learning from videos. I'm not sure how I would go learning from someone, like actually sitting with someone. I did try to teach someone through a Zoom call, and I don't think I didn't have this sort of a camera set up. I think if I had this, it might have been easier. But the way I was doing it, I like had my phone tucked under my chin and was trying to show them how to do it, whilst hoping that the camera was aimed at at the work. That didn't go well. Right, so we're going to sew this side down. So keep the ridges vertical. Oh, yeah, I mean, I have already said that we need to get the dogs to meet up. I think Nova and Rosie would have so much fun. So we're going to do a whip stitch, and that's literally, we're just going to go from the back to the front and just keep going around in the stitch. So try and go through every stitch, just makes it nice and neat. So we're going to go under the foundation chain, the first stitch on there, and then the first stitch on the ending row. Just pull your needle through. Can be a bit difficult to get the needle and with the thread through. Just pull that tight and just go through each corresponding stitch of the foundation chain to the ending row, right to the end. Like, if it wasn't for lockdown, Novi, I would probably come and deliver Rosie's jumper by hand. Just because I want to get pictures of Rosie wearing it. Rosie's jumper is giving me a little bit of grief, only in that the pattern I am doing for it, it is quite an intricate pattern. It's a lot of fun to do, but every now and then I look at it and I'm like, that's not right. So I pull back a little bit and then redo it, and I'm just like, it looks so pretty, but I keep doubting in my head. I'm like, nope, that's not wrong. That's not right. There's a mistake there. That can't be there. Gotta fix that. I'm like that with everything I make, though. Smallest little mistake, I'm like, nope, undo it all, restart from the beginning. You say that, Trixie, but I feel like you should know me better than that. Again, work's gone off screen. I'm not used to working, having to keep my work in a particular spot. I always, generally, when I'm crocheting, you'll find I like change position on the couch probably every 5 minutes. So 1 minute my work's like here and the yarn is over here, and then the next minute I've moved the yarn over here and I've like shifted, and that has something to do with the fact that sometimes I'm trying to crochet or knit around a dog who thinks that she's still a lap dog and can just sleep on me whilst I'm trying to do my work. Yeah. I mean, it keeps... At least you know that the focus is working, sort of. We hope it's focusing properly. Right, now with the tail end of your foundation and the now tail of your finished seam, it can be a bit... not many people do this. I do. I just like to knot it once. I just feel like it keeps that finishing stitch nice and tight. It's unlikely to pull apart. Now let's do a double knot, and you don't really see it once it's all done. So with the rest of the yarn now, we're going to go through those peaks of the ridges. So whenever you've turned at the end of a row, there's like a little ridge peak. See if I can get that to show up. You can see there. And then you've got them on the other side as well. On the alternate rows, you've got those ridges. So with the yarn, just loop through the top of each of those ridges. Doesn't need to be tight at the moment, just get the yarn through. Get your needle and yarn through those ridges. Just all the way around. Alright, and then put your needle through the center of the work. So bring it out the other side and just pull, and that's going to pull that side together, so it's going to shut that end of the pumpkin. You've got it on the other side. Now keep your yarn and your needle and stuff your pumpkin. So if you've got your toy stuff now, so I've got just the Hobbycraft soft toy filling, just 100% high loft polyester. Just take a decent amount of stuffing, just fill your pumpkin. So unlike most Halloween pumpkins where you hollow them, this one you're stuffing. So you can stuff it as much or as little as you want to make it softer or a bit firmer and hold a bit more of its shape. So give it a good stuff. It's looking a bit more like a squash at the moment rather than a pumpkin. But I guess a pumpkin is a squash. So, and then with the thread again, so now we're on the other side. Pick a point, if you can find where your sewn edge is, sorry, you can start there. So again, pick a point and work your thread through the top of each ridge. Corvus is watching, whilst modding this stream, he is also watching Sheep's stream. So you can hear it in the background every now and then. Again, through your headphones.
Oh yeah, when it crashes.
Yeah, yeah. Not all the time, just when Sheep gets loud. So once you have looped through all the ridge tops of this side, oops, let's get my needle through, there we go. If you feel like you need to add any more stuffing, now's the time, because once we go to do the next step, you won't be able to. So once you've looped through every ridge, just pull tight, gather those stitches together. That closes off that side of the pumpkin. And now again, thread your needle through, back to the other side, back through that other side again. Don't worry about if you've got a bigger hole on one side or the other. We will be doing a stem in a little bit, so that will cover up whichever side has the bigger hole. Just need to be able to, can be a bit fiddly trying to get your needle through the center, especially of the stuffing. I feel like I need pliers, which I don't have. Hang on. I'm going to be let down with not being able to get this bloody needle through the centre of the pumpkin. This is not going well.
Do you want some
may just have to give up and try a different technique. Doesn't want to cooperate today. Well, now I feel silly. Okay, well, what we can do instead, which is annoying, sometimes the stuffing doesn't like letting the needle with the yarn pass through. What I could do is I could swap to a curved needle, and actually I'm gonna, whilst that is still expandable, I'm gonna add a bit more stuffing because I want that to push out a bit more. Pumpkin needs to be fatter. Frumpkin. There we go. I find if you need to get your stuffing to particular areas, because your stuffing can clump quite a bit inside a make, if you just get your crochet hook inside and sort of move the stuffing around to all the nooks and crannies that you want it to go to, that's just my little sort of trick, as well as just squashing it from the outside to get the sort of shape you want. I find that works for any sort of make. So what we're going to do instead is we're just going to close up this loop. So I'm going to get my needle through a loop that's opposite from where I'm pulling the stitches tighter on this side, and then don't pull the thread completely tight, then loop your yarn through. Again, keep hold of the yarn still attached to the needle, pull that first loop through, and then to tie it off completely, put your needle back through that loop and tie that down. That will keep that nice and tight, and got a little bit of a stuffing escape there. Go. And then put your hook back through the pumpkin, but try to keep it sort of to the outside rather than going through the center. Just come out at a stitch somewhere close to the top, pull your thread through and just cut your thread off. And that closes up that end of the pumpkin. So this side is where we'll put the, thank you very much Novi, I love them too. They are lovely scissors. I got them from Hobbycraft, one of my favourites. So we do have a little bit of a string left here, which is what we'll use to attach the stem, which we'll do a bit later. So this pumpkin's going to go off to the side for a little bit, and now we're going to move on to the mystery make. Let's move some of the stuffing around a little bit. I'm never 100% happy with my makes. There we go. So that's the end result of the body of the pumpkin. we'll just leave him off to the side there. Yeah, not sponsored again. I gotta get used to that, like saying I'm not sponsored by something. Again, not sponsored by Coke. Why is that not focused? There we go. Alright. So we're moving on to, we've got the Rico Designs Rico Rumi DK yarn. It's their creative brand. It's made specifically for Amaguri crochet. This is just in black. So if anyone prefers to work with shade numbers rather than shade names, it's shade number 80. So this is the mystery make. I'm going to start off with a couple of the little accessory pieces that are going to be joined onto the main part. But this is where, if you can guess what it is that I'm making, I'm not going to be talking through the pattern on this too much. I will a little bit. But this is just something that I'm just going to sort of bash out, and it's kind of try and beat me, I guess. So do a slip knot, standard slip knot. The reason I'm not going to talk through this so much is that if I start naming what it is that what the pieces that I'm making, I feel like that's going to give away what it is I'm making. So what I'm going to do is my alternative version of a magic circle. So I just chain 2, and then in that first chain I'm going to do 6 single crochets. Six. That's my first round. So second round I'm going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch. So at the end of the round I'll be left with 12 stitches. So I'm increasing by 6 stitches in this round. This can be a little fiddly. So if you are sort of crocheting along a bit later on the YouTube video, take your time. At the end of the round you want to have 12 stitches, and with the black it can be a bit hard to see where your stitches are, so again, just take your time, don't rush, keep count as best you can. I know a lot of people will put stitch markers to see where you've got the front of the row. Generally when I'm just working, I just like to stop and count every now and then rather than moving a marker every time, but it's up to you how you want to work. 12, perfect. Okay, so third round I'm just going to be doing 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the second stitch, and that's the repeat for this round. So 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Just work that round until you have a count of 18 stitches. Look, there is a method, and we follow it. Let me grab my yarn there. So 1 more. So 1 single crochet. Oops. Then 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and that ends the round. Oops. Right, so that's as big as that piece is going to be. So what we're going to do to finish it off is in the next stitch we're going to do a slip stitch. So insert your yarn through the stitch, grab your working yarn, pull through, and where the single crochet you would grab your working yarn again and pull through the 2 loops on your hook. All we're going to do is take that first loop and just pull through. So we're not finishing a crochet stitch, it's just a slip stitch, and it gives a circle when you're just working in rounds rather than tiered rounds. So you're just working continuously in a spiral rather than completing round, chaining 1 to do a step and do again. It just makes it a bit sort of finished off look. So that's what we're going to do for that little piece. So we're going to cut off our yarn and leave a bit of a tail to help stitch it on a bit later. So with the loop you've still got on your hook, grab the yarn, pull through, and just pull all the way through and tie that off. And then we're going to do that again. So doing 2 of these circles. So again, do your slip knot, chain 2, in your first chain do 6 single crochets, I know it's a bit late in the video, but when I say single crochets I mean US terminology. There isn't a single crochet in UK terminology. In UK terminology it'd be a double crochet. So as we did on the last one, we do for this round, which is round 2, we do, hang on, sorry, bear with me, 1, oh dear, wait, what? So we do 2 single crochets in each stitch, so we're increasing by 6, So at the end of this round we'll have a count of 12. I've dropped the stitch again. Hang on. I'm going to have to restart this one. I just lost it. Slip knot.
Check your WhatsApp real quick.
Bear with me. Oh my god, Novi, that is adorable. I'm gonna have to blur that. What?
Just dox me on screen.
I'm sorry. I'll blur it. Jesus. I'm not sure how I'll blur it, but I will. Novi, that's adorable. I will have to make one. I've felted that yarn now with how much I've been trying to use it. Hang on. I've got black yarn stuck to my fingers. You have a gift. What's the gift?
You'll see in a second.
Okay. Mm. 2, 3, 4. Oh, hi! Oh my god, a raid. Hi! Hi everyone! Bah. From sheep. Perfect. Hi Squishy, hi Starry Dance. I'm gonna try and see how we go. Golly gosh, Novi. Yes, golly gosh. Hi sheep, big fan. Hi Corzaz. Hi Zombie Sheep. Hi Green Valley. Hi Scarthy. How's everyone doing tonight? How was the racing? Glorious. How'd Sheep do? Did he get in the top 10 eventually?
He started in the top 10.
Oh, he started in the top 10. I have to be honest, the last time I was in Sheep's stream today, it was he was talking about being 20th to 10th. I think it was the way someone was looking at it. So P4, wow. Well done, Sheep. He didn't even get punted. Yes, Corvus is typing in the background. So, third and final round as before. do 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch until we get a stitch count of 18.
This is the one you're doing the guess on, isn't it?
Yep, this is the mystery make for tonight. So if you can guess what the mystery make is before I'm finished, if you're the first person to guess, you win the make. You can also enter into a raffle, so I'll be making another one of these off stream. So you can enter into the raffle. Yep, Corvus has put up the keyword for the raffle.
So you want to check chat already, yes?
Yep, so if you do guess correctly, I'm not going to be saying if you have guessed correctly or not. We will contact you. We'll keep note of who it was that has guessed correctly, and we'll contact you Corvus may already have contacted you. I haven't been reading, sorry. What am I saying? Corvus may contact you through Whisper, but we'll contact you with details on how to get your details to us in order for us to post the mystery make to you. If you don't get the mystery make this time, either through the guess or through the raffle, mystery makes are something I will be doing every month. So I'll have, and depending on how popular they are, I will it's not how that works, Dead Tramp, but I like your style. I will be, yes, if it turns out to be quite popular, the mystery makes, I will do them more frequently. And again, they will be, if you can guess what it is that I'm making before I finish, then you will win the mystery make. Yeah, I think I'll let that slip. I don't know, maybe. So they're the first 2 pieces of the mystery make. So for the next piece, doing a slip knot, doing my standard alternative magic circle, so chain 2, then work 6 single crochets into that first chain, the second chain from the hook. That may not make sense to anyone currently in the chat, but oh, Soulbound Leather, thank you very much. So next row, 2 single crochets in every stitch. At the end of the row, we should have 12 stitches. Thank you very much for the follow, Soulbound Leather. I love the username, by the way. I'm trying to make some fun. See how we go. Well, the pumpkin wasn't part of the mystery. So only what I'm doing currently is part of the mystery. The pumpkin is going to be attached to the mystery make, but it is just a side piece. Alright, so we've got 12 stitches there, so that's the end of round 2. So going into the third round, we're again increasing by 6 in each round. So this round will be 1 single crochet in the first stitch and then 2 single crochets in the second stitch. So 1 single crochet in one and then 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and that's a repeat for the pattern for the round. So we'll just keep doing 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochets until we have a count of 18 stitches. Yes, I second what Corvus has said. Please do go give Soulbound Leather a follow. Thank you very much for the raid, and thank you very much to Sheep for the first raid. He doesn't like to let anyone know, but secretly. The implication that I'm married to a robot is probably not that far from the truth. Joking. I'm joking. He is flesh and blood. I hope, because we have a daughter together, and it would be weird if he wasn't. So I finished round 3, we're into round 4 now. So round 4 is a single crochet in the next 2 stitches and then 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So you're working on a pattern of 3 stitches, 1 single crochet in the first 2, and then in the same stitch 2 single crochets. So each round increases by 6, so at the end of this round we will have 24 stitches. Sorry, I got distracted by Dead Tramp's comment. The man in the background is just a really well crocheted model. I don't really know what to say to that. Other than the fact that there'd be a lot of hours of work to make a life-size life-size person. So I keep track by counting the amount of stitches. So because I'm working in continuous rounds, I stop every now and then and I count the stitches. It's a bit hard to see on the black yarn, so I do I have that I can show it on. Quickly just do a chain up with this yarn that I just happen to have. I've yarn everywhere in the house, so I've always got some yarn somewhere. So when you're crocheting, at the top of each row each stitch has these distinctive V's which look a bit like a plait, and I count each of these as I go round. So it's a bit hard to see on the black through the camera, but what I do is every now and then, like every few stitches or so, I'll stop and do a quick count of the round to keep track of that, keep track of where I am and make sure that I've done the right amount of stitches. So. We have actually a few keyboards. I have 3 keyboards on my desk, so I actually have more keyboards than Corvus. One is my gaming keyboard, which is a mechanical Razer keyboard, which is super loud. It is much louder than Corvus's keyboard. And then I've got my little Bluetooth keyboard, which Corvus gave to me after week 1 of working from home. We were working in the same office and he couldn't hear himself think over me typing. I am a lawyer, so a lot of my work is typing letters and notes, so he gave me a much quieter keyboard in desperation. So now that I've done, I've got the 24 stitches, I'm just going to keep going round single crochets in every stitch. There's no more increases. I'm just going to keep working up until this piece has the size that I want. I'll be working roughly 6 to 7 rows of just one single crochet in every stitch. So while I'm doing that, I can keep a better eye on chat.
So here's a fun little trivia for you. You currently have the most viewers in the magazine crafting.
Ooh.
And yet you're still not on the front page.
Ah. wonder why that is.
Rigged.
Rigged. Maybe because I'm not affiliate, or
Might be.
can you sort it by views?
Okay, you don't have the most.
Okay,
You're fourth from the top.
that's not bad. 4th from the top on makers and crafters. I'll accept that. Yeah, you're not getting it that easy, Dead Tramp. Good try. Yeah, I mean, it was a good tactic. I do get easily distracted. I'm very much the type of person of the type that is like, ooh, shiny. But as I said, I am a lawyer, so I do have people that try to trick me into giving them information that they shouldn't have. So I am trained in that. In not giving away things I'm not supposed to.
That was the dog, just so we're clear.
Do you want to do doggo cam for a little bit? Or quickly?
Connected to USB or Wi-Fi on the camera.
Wi-Fi.
Incoming weird comments.
The glorious beard returns to the stream.
Yeah, camera didn't die.
Got doggo cam. Oh, now you follow Dead Tramp. Now you follow that you've seen the dog. The doggo gets a follow. Thank you very much. Nova. Hey, Nova. Oop. She's a good girl. She's the goodest of girls. Inside the house. She's a bit of a terror once we take her out for a walk. But she is very cute. Yes. She's got the little dobby ears as well.
Floppy ears.
Floppy ears. I call them dobby ears. She's only 5 months and she's already massive.
So I calculated her weight in stone. She is 3.14 stone.
3.14 stone. Yes, she is the kind that will dive into a bush for a squirrel. She will chase anything white, small and fluffy.
Including other dogs.
Including other dogs. Especially ones that are smaller than her. So, yes.
Yeah, the camera's all wonky.
Yeah, that is cool. And it's covering chat.
Hmm?
And it's covering chat. The other thing as well, because she's a lurcher, she is also very fast. So, Rip trying to run after her. Our dog trainer has told us and taught us to walk away and call for her, and she comes and very well trained on that. She will follow us if we start to walk away. But it has caused issues with some other dog owners who think that we aren't doing anything if she's getting a bit too playful with their dogs, because it looks like we're just walking away and leaving them to deal with it. So that's caused a few interesting conversations. Yes, yeah, exactly, Dead Tramp. If we try to chase her, it's a game. And she is very fast. And if we try to chase her, we'll be chasing her all day. We will run out of energy a lot sooner than she will.
Do I need to get another camera set up for permanent doggo cam going forward?
Maybe.
Might need to get a pan tilt zoom one so it follows her. The whole room is her bed.
Yeah. Nova, we have massive pillows, floor pillows, which are dog beds for Nova. But she still will sleep just anywhere. It doesn't matter where. Yes, that's right, Dead Tramp. But a lot of other owners that have like dogs that I guess aren't as fast, or that they can much more easily grab a hold of, just don't understand that. So yeah, I have been told off for it before. And then I try to explain, but yeah, we have also the added training hassle that Nova comes from a working breed line, and her parents were both working dogs on a farm. So she has an inordinate amount of energy, and her prey drive, which has really started to kick in the last month, has really started to kick in the last month. So we do need to do something working with her, whether that is hunting, not say hunting, that's going to get a lot of grief. Not like going out specifically to hunt, but like setting up fake hunts for her, or racing. So we are going to get her into lure racing when she's older. I think lurchers get a bit sort of clumsy with their legs, with how long they are, so I'm not sure agility works too well, but we do teach her a bit of agility, because lurchers have the wonderful ability to not stop, and have been known to break their necks when running full pelt into a tree. So we do have to do some agility training with her, but mostly she just needs to be able to go top gear, full pelt at something. I haven't seen Flyball. I'll have to look into that. So I've been thinking of setting up a sort of an automatic lure rig that we can just train her with now, not going like full pace, obviously because she's still growing. She can't do the full running at the moment. It would likely damage her legs, so although we get her running out in the field behind our house every now and then, we do try to keep her at a, probably mid speed to what she could do to what her fastest could be. Just so it gives her joints and muscles time to still develop without damaging them at the moment. Yeah, exactly, dead tramp. Right, so I've sort of been letting this sort of twist the way the yarn wants to twist, but I'm actually going to flip this inside out now, which is how this should look. It just gives it a nicer looking stitch. So if you have the work the way that the yarn wants to twist, it's a slightly different pattern, but it's a bit more I'm trying to think of the word, technical looking. Whereas if you force the yarn to twist in the opposite direction, one, it gives it a nicer shape overall once the work is done, and it gives it a bit more of a softer look. It doesn't have as much of a technical lined look. Nova is definitely in the point of like she wants to jump up on everything, and jump up on us in particular. And because of how big she's gotten in the last couple of weeks, when she jumps, she like jumps as high as we are tall. So it can get a little scary. Oh god, I hope that wasn't like majorly loud.
It wasn't, it was fine.
Okay. So has anyone had any trick-or-treaters this year? I know we're not supposed to be trick-or-treating, but I'm just wondering if anyone is in an area where there have been trick-or-treaters. Just curious. Oh, that's nice. I sort of thought of doing something like that, but I will be honest, I couldn't be bothered to set it up in the end. I've got a couple of mum friends in the area. We had been planning on doing just a little trick-or-treat thing with us. We all live on the same street or a couple of streets away. So we'd been sort of planning that we'd just go to our houses, but then Wales is in a national lockdown. I know England is now, or is going to be soon.
Thursday it's going in.
Alright, so England from Thursday. But Wales is in a national lockdown, so that's all been cancelled. We decided to not do that anymore, which I'm upset about. I love Halloween. I was really looking forward to taking my daughter trick-or-treating, but I think she'll get more out of doing it next year when she's a bit older. She's too young to understand and too young to eat that much candy as yet.
We should have to do it now.
Crazy. Crazy doggo.
See if we get any more follows. You'll follow up dog cam.
Further dog cam. Oh, no, down. Down, down.
Yeah, but the screen time is easy.
Oh. We get there. We get there.
We turn the lights up.
Alright, so I'm done building the body up now, so I'll be starting to decrease. So how I do my decrease, I try to do an invisible decrease. So I will do 1 stitch, then 2 stitch, so single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then for an invisible decrease I put my hook through the front loop of the next stitch, and without pulling any yarn through, so leave the hook through the stitch, put the hook again through the front loop of the next stitch, so I've got the front loops of the next 2 stitches, and then grab my yarn, pull through those 2 loops. So I've got my 2 loops like I was doing a single crochet, grab my yarn, pull through and complete the single crochet. So that joins 2 stitches together, breaks it down to 1 stitch. So just again, single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and then, oops, what's happened? Oh, my yarn has gotten a bit split, hang on. Again. Right. And then an invisible decrease. So hook through the front loop of the next stitch, and then front loop of the stitch after that. Pull my yarn through those 2 loops, grab my yarn and complete the single crochet stitch. And invisible decrease. So it's just working in the same way that you increased the amount and decreasing by the same amount. So as you increased by 6 stitches each row, you are decreasing by 6 stitches each row. Have we had any more guesses as to what it is? No? Alrighty.
My goodness. It's time for bed. It's time for you to go to bed. Should be great.
I think it's alright, she can stay up till we're done.
She's hit perfect.
Right, now I've decreased to 18 stitches. We're just going to do one single crochet and then an invisible decrease. And that's going to be our repeat. So that will bring us down to, once we finish this round, 12 stitches around, and then we will stuff the piece. I mean, might be, might not be. So it's a piece. Could be a body, could be a head, could be a bum, could be a hat,
Could be a foot.
could be a foot. Who knows?
I know.
Well, yes, Corvus and I know.
I hope you know.
I'm kind of making it up as I go along. 12. Right. So, just pull my loop out a bit, just so I don't lose it. Grab some stuffing. I feel like I should point out that Corvus is the master of misdirection, so I have actually not been able to find V for Vendetta like online from anywhere really, I think.
It's on Netflix.
Is it?
Almost certain.
I know we've got the DVD. We have like a special collector's edition.
Case DVD.
Yeah, we got like a tin case DVD set for just a tin case for the DVD for V for Vendetta. It's one of the first movies I think we watched together. Right, so now that it's stuffed, I'm just going to do the last round of decreases. So for this one, this gets a bit fiddly because it's just decreasing every 2 stitches. So there's no just doing a single crochet, it's just the invisible decreases. So it's just picking up the front loop of the next 2 stitches and doing a single crochet in the front loops. The logic of misdirection there, Dead Tramp, feels very like those riddlers in the Labyrinth, the 2 guys behind the shields, the where the one always tells the truth and the one always lies. Sorry that I'm pulling my work out of frame. As I said, this bit does get fairly fiddly. Hello? Did you say hello? No, I said hello. That's close enough. Right, one last decrease. Oops. Right, it's not going to let me. Too fiddly. I'm going to give up on that. I'll just go with what we've got. So, pulling my loop out a bit, cut my yarn, pull through to tie it off, take my needle, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather the stitches. So I'm just going to pick up a stitch every now and then. I'm going to pick about 4 stitches. Sorry. It's just random. This is just going to close the hole. So the stuffing can't get out. Right, just going to pull that nice and tight, then just going to pull through once, go under the loop just to tie that off. I'm just going to leave that tail for now because that's what we'll use to sew this on to the connecting piece. and take these circles. The center piece, so the tail end of the beginning piece of the circle, the best thing to do with that, I find, is just to tie it to the working end, because it gets, ordinarily you try to weave it into the work, but that, especially when you're working with such a small piece, I find that gets quite fiddly, and it can almost destroy the aesthetic of the piece. So I just like to tie them together so they're both coming from the same point of the piece. I'll just do that again on the other one. The two knockers, huh? Do they happen to be lined up at a particular point on the top? Not PG, that. The Labyrinth is one of my favourite movies as well. I love David Bowie. So with these pieces now, take one strand of the yarn, the yarn that comes off from it, well, at least she gets the joke, and is proud of it, because I think that's amazing, and I want that top now. So I'm just going to take this piece, pick a point on the piece we've just done. I'm just going to sew it on. I saw my baby trying hard as babe could try. What could I do? I'm going to have that song stuck in my head all night now.
Might just have to watch The Labyrinth.
Might just have to watch The Labyrinth. I always go so quiet when sewing stuff. It's only because it actually takes a lot of concentration to know that you're getting it in the right spot.
We now have paper that run out back.
Yay. So it sort of looks like we're getting a Mickey Mouse look here at the moment, but that's not it. Stupid stuffing making an escape. There we go. That'll do. I'll fix that later. Right, so I know we've got a very sort of Mickey Mouse looking thing. It's not Mickey Mouse. The next piece is probably what's going to give it away. So, any last guesses? Thank you for trying, Dead Tramp. Alright, so for this piece, it is one of the last pieces. We're just going to chain 5. That was 4. We're going to work, we're going to skip that first chain directly under the hook, do a single crochet into the first 4. And chain 1, turn, single crochet into each stitch. So 4 single crochets. Now I'll take the cookies. Chain 1, turn, crochet into the next 4, I mean, is it possible to follow yourself? So at the end of that row we're going to chain 4, and then skipping that first one we're going to single crochet back. So because we've got that chain, we'll be single crocheting into 3, which are the chain, and then 4, which is the base. So we'll have 7 single crochets in total. Chain 1, turn, and single crochet into all 7 stitches. Chain 2, skip that first one, single crochet into the second, chain from the hook, and then back through the original 7, so 8 single crochets in total. Chain 1, turn. I think in those circumstances I'm happy to bow out of the cookie giveaway, Dead Tramp, but thank you. So don't single crochet all the way to the end of this one. After you've turned, do 5 single crochets. So you should be left with 3 stitches. Then chain 5. Again, skip that first chain under the hook and single crochet back through the 4 on the chain, and then the 5 on the build already done. So 9 single crochets in total going back on this row. Chain 1, turn, and single crochet back through those 9 stitches. Then chain 2, skip that first one, single crochet through the second chain from the hook, and then back through those original 9, so 10 single crochets in total. That finishes that piece off, so pulling the loop up, cut your yarn and tie that off. Now the best way to get rid of this bit of the yarn, because we're going to use the bit down here to stitch this piece on, just with my hook I'm just going to go through a few stitches down the side and just pull that through, just sort of weave it into the work back down to the beginning edge. Oops. Now that's down here, I'm just going to bring it back through the same hole, tie it off, and then I can hide that once the piece is sewn on. That's one piece. We're now onto the final piece. If you haven't been able to guess what it is now, well, then there's just no hope for you. So chain 5, single crochet through 4 chains, so skip that first one, chain 1, I'm not getting involved in that dead trap. Gone too far. Sorry, I went too far on that. So only 3 rows. The end of the 3rd row. Well, thank you very much, Dead Tramp.
Did you see the note on it?
Cooking money. Thank you very much for Corvus. So at the end of the 3rd row, chain 5, no, 4, sorry, chain 4, single crochet back through the first 3, and then through the original 4 of the main piece, giving you a total of 7 single crochets in the row.
Yes, I can.
Single crochet back through those 7, got a chat war going on here. I'm staying out of it. I'm just finishing the piece. The end of that row, chain 2, single crochet back through the 2nd stitch from the hook, and then the original 7, giving you 8 single crochets across the row in total. chain 1, turn, do 5 single crochets. So don't go all the way to the end of this row. And chain 4. Sorry, chain 5. Can't keep track anymore. Single crochet back through the first 4 plus the original 5, giving you 9 single crochets across this row. Chain 1, turn, single crochet through all 9, right to the end, and chain 2, single crochet through that second stitch from the hook, and then through the original 9, giving you 10 single crochets across the row. And that finishes the last piece off. We do the final sewing. Pull that loop up. Cut my yarn. Lash the yarn down to the bottom of the piece. Right at the bottom, pull it through, and knot it off again. Perfect. Take our needle again. You're not letting the spider thing go, are you, dead tramp? mean, alright, that's not, you know. I'll give you that.
Is this going to devolve into a debate on the efficacies of language now?
Oh god, I hope not. It's too late in the night to have a discussion as to the evolution of speech and terminology. So, how many people have we had in the raffle?
It's just a lot of people who are not
Yeah.
there yet. Currently we have 5.
Alrighty.
Actually 4. It's someone has already won one. So. Wait, string elements. The original, so that's 3.
Numbers are dropping.
I can make it based on active users, and it's pretty much guaranteed to go to either tricky or dead trim.
Just don't tell Tramp that.
I'm pretty sure he had.
Oops, sorry. I'm making it all so blurry, sorry. I need to watch what I'm doing. But I'm trying to like watch what I'm doing, but it means I'm messing up watching what other people can watch.
How long are we going to give all of the other people who are clearly very active in chat a chance?
I'll give them till I get the face on this guy. Yeah?
Yeah, that seems fair. I think with the way Nightbot does these raffles, well, you have to be following in order to be eligible, which is why there's only 3 people.
Okay. Didn't pull through it all. Sorry that I'm not very chatty at this stage. Just trying to keep track of what all the threads are at this point. Move that guy out of the way. Alrighty. So I think at this point we're pretty clear on what he is. Yeah? Not a spider. So sorry, Dedra. Gonna go to your grave with that one, huh? I mean, it is Halloween, so.
Wait, I didn't make me eligible in chat. No.
Do you need to be eligible?
But I am now. Oh, careful. Careful, Dad. You do it too many times, the anti-spam will kick you out of the competition. Also, I'm not eligible because I'm a mod and I'm, running it, so. Also, I can just ask for one.
Yeah. It's not worked. We'll get there, we'll get there. I'm just changing my mind as to how I want to do this. Yeah, just do it that way. Okay.
See that he does my neck.
Not sure I want to. There we go. We have a happy little bat. So, who was the first to guess bat? Novi. Novi wins this. Congratulations, Novi, if you're still here. And who wins the raffle?
I think Novi has retired to watch a film that she wants.
That's fine. We will contact Novi separately.
I've already contacted her. We're gonna have to re-roll.
Alright, Dead Tramp. Corvus will
You're on Sheep's Plex, aren't you, Dead Tramp? That's not Plex.
Discord. If you message me on Discord, in Discord I am Elena K. I'll ask Corvus to type that out for you. So if you message me on Discord with your address details or where you want me to send your raffle prize to, I'll get that posted out on Monday to you.
See, he's just said that the cookies were for the raffle now, so I mean.
Nah, come on, he's so excited. We can't do that to him.
Cool. I'll send you a message on Discord, Detran.
I hope you heard that. We got bat and a pumpkin. Eh? How's that for Halloween?
I'm curious about where the little wooden stub on the top of the pumpkin goes.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Bat found out.
I mean, if you're going to be like that. If you weren't here for your technical knowledge, your innuendos would
We want to make a special one to make it a spider instead of a bat. Do you have a pattern for a spider?
Dead Tramp, would you like yours to be a spider instead of a bat? Special one-time deal, you've got 2 minutes to reply. Leave him like that for now. Well, I hope everyone's enjoyed this evening, so I will just finish this off quickly, doing the quick stem for the pumpkin. But I hope everyone's had a lovely evening. I hope everyone's had a lovely Halloween, despite everything that is going on in this world at the moment. And thank you, Corvus. I was not. I didn't know where I wanted to go with that sentence, and Corvus has helped guide me in that direction. So I'll be streaming every Monday. I started last Monday a crochet along for my pattern of my little snowman, my happy little snowman. So I did part 1 of that last Monday. This Monday will be part 2, and there will be a part 3 to the Happy Little Snowman. But I will on other weeks, if I don't have anything particular to make, I will just be doing just whatever I've got really around to do. I'll always talk through my projects and my patterns. The Happy Little Snowman is available to purchase on commission. I feel like I should bring him in to do a plug, but this is a Halloween stream, so I'm not sure if I should, but I'm going to anyway. So in my Happy Little Snowman, he's available to purchase through commission. You can message me. All orders of Happy Little Snowman will be shipped out at the end of November. So they will be received in time for Christmas. They're £15 for a big boy, and then I also do smaller hanging decorations of him for Christmas trees, which are £5 a piece. The Christmas tree decorations aren't yet available to order. They will be up on my Etsy store mid-November. Alright, that's Christmas over. Back to this. I'll just finish off the stem. Oh god. It's going well. And as Corva said, don't forget to follow. Thank you.
Gotta work on that calls to action.
Yeah, well, you know, that's life of someone starting out in the streaming game. Problem with threading a needle with yarn is that yarn is far too thick for the eyes of needles, and yet there's no easier way to do this. If anyone is watching this on YouTube, you can check out my makes on Instagram. I do commissions of pretty much anything. You can message me directly on Instagram to request something. My store motto is anything is possible through craft, and if you can dream it, I can make it. So if there's anything you want to commission, all you have to do is direct message me on Instagram, and we will work out any sort of main details that you may have, such as colouring, what sort of yarn colours you want, what sort of material. We'll work out costing, anything that I create. I do ask for a 50% deposit up front, which is non-refundable. The balance is payable once the item is finished and ready to ship. But if you think there's anything you want, gifts, I do personalised baby blankets, anniversary gifts. I am getting set up to do toys for children. I'm not currently set up for that yet in terms of testing, but if there is something that you would like to commission as a toy, I do have the ability to test it all and will be able to safety mark any toys that I do make. If you don't have an Instagram, I do have also a page and store on Facebook. Again, it is same as this channel, Mama Bearable Crafts. So if you don't have an Instagram or you just don't use Instagram, you can message me on Facebook. Likewise, you can message me here on Twitch if that's possible. I'm not sure if it is, personally. Or I do have an email address as well. Which I think so. I think that is in my description on my page here on Twitch. Okay, well, it will be. It is, I'll just put it in chat as well. It is contact@mamabearable.co.uk. So you can order commissions through there as well. Corvus is writing it out for me. And again, as I said, if there's anything that you want, you've not been able to find, if you want to commission anything in particular, you can message me. We'll work out colours, materials, price, all that jazz. And there he is, adding a pumpkin. Well, thank you very much to everyone who's been with me tonight. Thank you very much to Sheep and Soulbound Leather for the raids earlier on. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Got to name it now. Okay, so before we leave, we've got to name it. Batty?
Alan.
Alan. Corvus is going with Alan. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Batkin. I'm going to call him Batkin. Batkin. So I hope you've all had a wonderful Halloween. I hope you've all had a wonderful night. I will see any of you on Monday for part 2 of my Happy Little Snowman crochet along, or otherwise I'll see you later in another stream. Thank you very much, guys. Have a wonderful evening, wonderful night, and keep safe. Bye.